Hello, my name is Jonathan Seltzer. This is my project. Did this individually, so I'm going to start it off with the code itself. So the first one I have here, the first function, is the create table, which uses databases. So it creates a database called library database, and then it fills tables in with, it has an ID, it gets generated, title, author, category, and quality. So then after that, it creates the table. I have to insert data. So since I chose library as my thing, I'm inserting books in this function. So I'm opening it, basically dropping 10 books in here, different genres, different authors, and then it just basically just closes it and puts it in, basically. Now when I run it, not run it, let me rephrase that. My next function is the search one, which basically opens the database, and it calls a query, which is an input. And when you select the search book option in the menu, which then executes, which then selects, goes through like everything in the database, ID, title, author, category, or quality, and then it checks if that matches to the input, and then basically it just pastes or prints all of it if there's anything that has like the contain letter or word. If not, we'll just say not found. And then after that, I have the print books function. This one's not very big. It just basically prints the book's ID, title, author, category, and quality. I call this later in one of the functions. I don't remember where. I have a separate one that prints the database itself, so you can just see the database. And then after that, I have the save book, which is pretty big, but this is file side of it. So I chose just so I wanted to save one individual book because I don't know, they may want to save one book just to read online. So if the book ID is equal to the input, or not input is equal to a digit, it would execute this whole function right here. And then when it goes down, if it's valid and if it's a book, I'll write the book's details inside file and save it. If not, it'll say the book was not found. So then that's done. And then you have the read book function. So this is the biggest part. So we have an empty array at the top or list. We call it with an input right after in a while true loop. So if the user wants to rent a book, we go based off ID. And they get multiple, you can do multiple selections or rentals. And once you're done, you just press Q and it will just exit. So when we make our way down, if it's not an ID, it'll ask you for a number. And it goes down, basically keeps going down to look for an ID. If there's no book with the ID, it lets you know. Continues on. And now if it finds the book with the ID, it's going to store it in a tuple of the book and it's going to like match it. And then we go down. If the book is not available, so if there's no more copies of it, it'll let you know. And then if there's two copies left and you're trying to rent three, it will give you a statement saying you cannot uh, rent that many copies, so it'll tell you how much is left. And then once we go further down, once you get all the books you want, I have the due date at the very bottom here, which calls it it just calculates today's date to 30 days from now, and then it displays all like the book's information, not one, but like all the books followed by. Now, this is what I'm talking about, and also tells you how many copies were out taken. And at the bottom, I have my menu, which basically calls my other functions, as you can see. And then at the very bottom, I just call all three, which creates the table, inserts the data, calls the menu. So if I run it, so if I do view database, which was the first function, it will give you all the books that are in the database. So if I close this and reopen it, you can see the database itself, see what's in here. If I rerun it again, we'll see the database. Yep, we got one in there, but it turns to 11. But if you can view it, tells you all the books in here. Going to search, if I put the letter A, most of my books have the letter A in it, so post all of it. But if I put the word fiction, it'll just show fiction only, as you can see. Now if I do rents, I think it was up to 19, so if I choose 15 and I would like to rent 6, it should give me the error there's only 5 copies. Ask me to input another one, so I'm going to rent 3 of these. I'm going to rent 4 of these, and I'm going to rent, oh, I have no ID with 13. I'm going to rent uh, 1 of these, and then rent 2 of these. So once I quit, it should display all the books you got, and it tells you how many copies, and the return date of the book, which is in numbers. And then I get the save function part, which basically you choose a book you want to save. So I'm gonna go with I'd like the I like the copy if it had been with me, so I would save the ID number 15. So then it would basically save it in a text file with the ID called book.15. If I close it, should paste all the details here, and that's my assignment or final project of this Python course. Thank you very much.